Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a makeup favorites video. It's been a while since I've done a favorites. This is going to be my November favorites. I've discovered quite a bit of new makeup this month, but I also am rediscovering some old favorites in my collection. So if you watch my channel regularly, then a few of these products you've definitely heard me talk about, but I've also discovered some new products that I really haven't talked about at all on YouTube yet. So if you guys want to hear about what I've been loving, then just keep on watching. So first up, I have a drugstore primer. This is from NYX. It is the Bare With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer. It's kind of like the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It's jelly form, it's hydrating, and it does kind of create like a tacky base for your makeup. I think I might have talked about this in maybe a couple Get Ready With Me videos over here, but mainly I've just been using this in Instagram videos because I feel like it's super like gross looking and like clickbaity. The packaging of this being a potted product is not the most sanitary primer ever, so I don't reach for it all the time, but when I do, I'm actually really happy with it and I'm going to continue to use this, and I feel like it is a pretty close dupe to the Milk Makeup one, so I wanted to mention this. Now I'm going to mention my favorite primer because I did repurchase this and I've been using it throughout the month of November regularly because this is my go-to daily primer. But you guys have heard me talk about this a million times on my channel. It's probably my most repurchased makeup item, so I'm just gonna let you know what it is. It is the Too Faced Hangover Primer, and I just don't even feel like I need to say anything. It's my go-to primer. It just literally, my skin is addicted to this. It really helps hydrate and it keeps my skin from breaking out, so I always have to have this in my collection. Now, one of my most frequently asked questions on my YouTube and my Instagram is about foundation. What do I use for my base? What's my favorite foundation currently? And it is always changing because my skin is always changing. Right now it's super dry because of the winter, and sometimes it even gets oily. It's just, it has a mind of its own. But I do have a new favorite current foundation, and this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. But this has hands down been one of the best foundations that I have used this year. It is like the best combination of coverage and a nice natural finish. So it does give me full coverage. It lasts all day long, but it still looks natural and luminous in its own way. That's how it reacts with my primers and my skin. I'm wearing it right now. It's the only foundation that I have on. If you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend it. It is a great new formula. I like it a lot better than the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. I wanted to do a full review and testing video of this, but I feel like I'm so behind that it's like irrelevant at this point. So I've never really been one of the bandwagon like die-hard fans of the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer until this month. I've always felt like there's better, cheaper dupes out there and that I didn't need this in my collection, but I rediscovered it when I actually got my correct shade, and I've been using it ever since, and it really has become a quick favorite. There's even something about the smell of this concealer that just makes me want to use it. I know that probably sounds really weird. Maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like it has like an undertone of like fruitiness or something to it. But this is the shade Light Neutral. That's what I've been using for brightening lately. So most of the time when I hop between concealers, it's because I don't have a proper shade for me. So this is a favorite right now, yes, because of the formula, but also because the color Light Neutral is the perfect color for the kind of mix of self-tan that I have going on right now. This is one of those products that I would suggest you try if you have not already. It will kind of give you the idea of what a perfect concealer should be, and then you can base your kind of opinions on drugstore cheaper concealer off of that. That's what I do, at least with my favorite high-end concealers. I want to give a quick little shout out to the Huda Beauty baking powder in the shade Pound Cake. This has been my go-to for setting under the eyes and the entire face. Mainly what this has been helping me with is prepping my face with powder products so that my contour with powder products does not come out muddy or patchy. So I can attribute that to this powder because I feel like you have to have the right base down in order to have the perfect blend of products on your face. So I did want to mention this really quickly. I don't really have a ton to say like about the formula or anything. It's a great powder, but I'm not going to sit here and compare like how fine it is compared to other powders. I don't feel like I'm good at that. But I did want to talk about this before I talked about my contour favorite. So this I have definitely mentioned on my channel before. I know at some point I must have, because I've been using this for probably over a year now, and it really is like my go-to tried and true product. Like, it never does me wrong when I go back to this. So this is the MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shape Contour Palette, and I believe this is in the shade light medium. Yes, it is. So I mainly use this just for the contour. It does have like a banana shade and it has the brightening powders up top, but I really use this for the bottom 3 contour shades. Now, I wish I could express to you like how serious I'm being about these contour powders. They blend effortlessly and they literally look like a shadow. Like, it looks real on your face. It does not look muddy. It does not look like you have makeup on. It is like incredible what this formula is. So I will blend all 3 of these together, or honestly, sometimes I will pick one. They're all very similar to me and they just work on my skin tone perfectly. But this is all I've really been using for the month of November for my contour, and I feel like I have like rediscovered my love for contouring because of this palette. So I have a couple blush products that I have discovered in the month of November. I have one that came in a BOXYCHARM box. It came in BOXYCHARM Premium. This is the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. And honestly, I didn't think I was gonna love this as much as I do. But lately, I've been loving like the lit from within, like wet, glassy skin look. And that's exactly what this palette will give to me. So it has 2 cream products and 2 powder products. It's got a cream blush, which is still a little intimidating to me. I only dipped into it once and it was a little dark on me. It's got a cream glow base, which I absolutely am obsessed with. And then it's got the Glow Extreme and the Duo Glow. So what I've been doing is using the Glow Base cream, and then over top I will put the Glow Extreme highlighter, and this just gives me like the perfect mix of like a beaming highlight, but it just looks real, like it looks natural. It reminds me a lot of like the effect of NARS Orgasm Blush, but like to the extreme. Now I have one more blush product, and this is a little bit more of an expensive blush, but I discovered this out of my collection. It's not new, but this is the Laura Mercier Blush Color Infusion in the color Fresco. So Fresco is like the perfect nude blush. It's like a dusty rose kind of, but more on the nude kind of tan side, and then it has a faint shimmer in it. So I don't know if you guys can really see the full effect, but it's just the perfect like toasty blush color for like the holiday season, and I find myself going into this every single day. It's the blush I'm wearing today. If I'm not going into the Natasha Denona palette, I'm going in with this blush and the highlighter I'm going to talk about, which is what the combo on my face is today. But if you guys are looking for like that perfect, like toasty, warm, not too fake looking blush, like it actually looks like a flush of color from within. It doesn't look like you have purple or pink on your face. Like, it's the perfect nude for my skin tone, then I highly recommend looking into Fresco. And then the highlight that I'm wearing today, I have talked about this so many times, like countless times on my channel, so I won't bore you to death, but it's my all-time favorite loose highlight. It is the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Yas. So this highlighter has been my go-to highlight for well over a year, and I've been dipping into this so much that this pot right here is almost gone. So on Black Friday, I bought myself another one. It was 50% off. Honestly, there's something so satisfying to me about going through a loose highlighter. Like, do you know how long it takes to do that? I've used this thing to death. I use this for my cheekbone highlight, for my forehead, my nose, my upper lip, my brow bone, literally everything. Like, I bathe in this highlighter. I've also used it as a body highlight countless times in the summer, and it's still not gone. It's almost gone, but it's still not gone, and I have a backup coming. And I'm sure you guys can see it just gives like the wet highlight look to the cheek, and it's just the best shade for me. I love it so much. Now I have one tool that is new to me over the past couple months, and it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills A30 brush. So this brush, I don't think I've really dived into on my channel. I think I mentioned it briefly a couple times, but it's like a small domed kabuki brush. And because it is so small, I can use it for foundation, but also concealer. I do have a bigger face, so the smaller brush helps get into like the crevices. It does take a little bit more work on like the bigger areas of my face, but I've been loving this and I've been going into it regularly. I've been going in with it regularly, and I feel like it really does make my foundation application easier, and I love that I can use it for foundation and concealer. So I do recommend it if you guys are fans of kabuki brushes. You guys know I love my Sigma. I'm always going in with Sigma, but lately I have been playing around with this one and really liking it. Now the past 4 or 5 months or so have been crazy for setting spray releases, and I've tried them all of them that have been sent to me and that I've purchased. I've pretty much loved all of them, but my tried and true, my go-to is the Urban Decay All Nighter, and I've used this every single day for work, for my videos, literally everything. I just trust this so much when I am needing my makeup to last. This is what I will go into. It also does help get rid of the cakiness. It's kind of like an all-in-one setting spray. I wanted to mention this because I think during the holiday season, they have a 2-pack of the full size, and it's like $42, and I believe, I could be wrong here with the prices, but I think this is like $32 or $36. So getting 2 of them for essentially almost the price of one. I usually try to stock up on this during the holidays, so I wanted to mention this. It will probably always be my favorite setting spray. So in a majority of my videos that I've posted, whether it be a review or a tutorial, I have used this eyeliner, and it's the only one I've been using in my daily life when I'm not on camera. So this is the Benefit Roller Liner. I've talked about it again so many times, but it is a marker style eyeliner, so it's going to be easier for beginners in winged liner, but it's also really, really easy if you are already skilled in liner. But what I love the most about this is it's matte black and it's super accurate, and I've had this for a very long time and it still has not dried out on me, and the marker tip hasn't gotten any less pointy. So I'm wearing this today too, and it might be my all-time favorite. Now I have 3 lip products to talk about. All of them are nude, of course, and I'm not gonna apologize for my love of nude lips. Some people might get sick of it, but I don't. So I have a lip liner. This is my favorite nude lip liner. This is from Laura Mercier, and I believe this is the Longwear lip liner. They have a lip pencil and a lip liner. It's a little bit confusing. This one is the Longwear lip liner in the shade Rosewood. So this I actually will use to line my lips and fill them for the entire day, and I will wear it by itself. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, like 99% of the time, if I have a nude lip on this month, it's been just this lip liner alone, and I really like that I can kind of chuck it on and leave the house and not worry about anything. This is something that I don't need to reapply. It lasts for a very long time, but then it fades gracefully. It's not like something like a liquid lipstick or something that's gonna fade in like an obnoxious way. It's gonna last forever too. I think I've had this for about a year now, ever since it came out. But I am not even halfway down the pencil yet, and I love this. It's my favorite nude lip liner. And then you guys know one of my all-time favorite liquid lipstick formulas is Ofra Cosmetics, and I've been dipping back into one of my old favorites. This is the shade Manila. This is what I have on my lips today, as well as that lip liner. This, for me, when I am a little bit more fair, is like the perfect kind of darker pinky nude. It's not too light to where it looks like concealer lips. I feel like it looks more like a bold nude on my skin tone, so I love this. This is one of the only liquid lipstick formulas, this one and Jeffree Star, that I feel comfortable leaving the house with for a full day without bringing it as a backup or touch-up. And then I have a very unique product. So this is from Urban Decay. It is their Stay Naked Vice Lip Chemistry Lasting Glassy Tint. This is in the shade Low Key. It's a nude, of course. At first, when I got this out of my collection, it's kind of been sitting there for a while because I thought it was a lipstick that I already owned, and I thought it was a backup, but it wasn't. I opened it up and I thought it was going to be a liquid lipstick. Just looking at the doe foot and everything, I thought it was a liquid lip. And I went to go slap it on, and it was glossy, for one thing. And then it kind of just faded down into a stain, and I loved it. And so now I've been wearing this every single day to work. I work at a gym, and it's been one of the only products that I wear. I'll just slap on concealer, mascara, and this, and I've been loving it for daily use. This product reminds me of like the Glossier models with their no makeup and like their freckles and their barely there like glossy lipstick. This is totally that vibe, and I've been living for it. Now, last up, I want to talk about 2 eyeshadow palettes. There are an absolute shit ton of eyeshadow palettes that I have loved and reviewed in the month of November, but I have 2 real winners that have taken over my daily life. The first one I'm wearing today, and it's probably one of my favorite Anastasia palettes. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Carly Bible palette. This is one of those palettes I want to dive back into and do another tutorial maybe for New Year's Eve, but I absolutely love this palette. I feel like this is just the perfect like neutral lovers eyeshadow palette with a little bit of like bronziness to it. It really does reflect Carly Bible in a palette, but I love the formula. I love the color combination. It's one of those palettes that I feel I can dip into really, really quickly and just like come up with something cute and leave my house and not feel like I have to worry about the formula at all. And then of course, if you guys know me, you probably knew I was definitely going to get my use out of this one. This is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals Volume 1. I did break mine in my review. I dropped it and a bunch of the shadows popped out. I ended up popping them out again later and putting them back into where they're supposed to be. So unfortunately, I am missing one shade, but this palette has been so great for like effortless looks. I've been dipping into these 2 rows right here, Soothe and Aura, for really quick daily looks. When I wear the sequin shades, the mattes that have a faint glitter in them, I just dust them over my lid and I feel like I've done something even though it's only one shadow. I definitely want to do more with this palette, and there's a lot more that I can do, but I have been dipping into it regularly for the very basic looks that I create on a regular basis. But that is all for my November favorites. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do like favorites videos, please thumbs up this video so that I know, and I will continue to do them. I think the next time that I do one, it might be my yearly roundup if I choose to do that video this year. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future videos, and hopefully I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.